New from Deaf Crocodile is In the Moscow Slums, which is a 2023 release. This is a kind of weird one because it takes the story of the Sign of Four from Holmes, Sherlock Holmes and Watson, puts it into 1902 Moscow and replaces Holmes and Watson with two real life characters. We have Gilly, a reporter, and we have Stanislavsky, a playwright, director, actor who is studying for a role. And he wants to get the best performance out of himself. He wants to really understand the character that he's portraying, but he doesn't know this person. He doesn't know somebody from the slums, from Khitrovka, and he wants to go down there, see it for himself, experience it, and get a better understanding of the people that come from there. Which is where he ties up with Jelly to take him down there and kind of show him about. And this is where we get our two characters together. They go down to the kind of slums of Moscow and see how the poorer people get by, how they just struggle to survive, how it's not as glamorized as he thinks it is, how it is a tough existence. It's no romanticism here, it is a hard life. And when these two guys are down there, they stumble across the body of one of Gilly's friends, and then they slowly start to investigate why this is going on. I really kind of like this film because it does give me that, or scratches that Sherlock Holmes itch that I had, gives me some fresh characters taking up the roles in a story that I find very familiar but is interesting enough. And for the most part, I was kind of drawing into this one. You know, it takes a little bit of time as we get set up with the characters, as we get to the situation, as we start to meet the supporting cast that will appear through the rest of the film. It takes time in finding its footing. But once we get to Khitrovka and we start to see the inner workings of this community here, as we start to investigate, it gets really fun. You kind of see the underbelly of everything that's going on here, and there are some really tense and exciting sequences throughout it.
Дядя большой любитель редкостей. Начал коллекционировать их, когда служил.
And for the most part, the mystery is really kind of driving the story here as well. Why is this person dead? What were they up to? What were they involved with? How are our heroes going to move through this world? Gilly and Stanislavsky are great together, but what happens if they get separated? How is Stanislavsky going to cope in this world that he doesn't really know? It offers up all these different possibilities. What I will say is there's a moment in the film where it kind of lost me a little bit, where we reveal the bad guy. And I am a fan personally of the big reveal at the end, where you find out who's been creating this world of subterfuge and kind of moving through the world and laying these little red herrings for everybody. But we don't get that. We get a clear indication of who the bad person is and almost why they're doing what they are doing. And it's perfectly fine, but it just kind of takes away that element of surprise and mystery. There is a good amount of humour in this as well, which is situational to our characters and not kind of really forced. They're not cracking jokes, they're just kind of little chuckles that take away from some of the tension that are being in certain sequences. I like the production values here. I like the pairing of our two main characters. Normally when you have the Holmes-Watson aspect, you have one person who is more superior. Here you feel that it's kind of more balanced. We have someone who is more capable and understands the world. We have someone who's kind of spotting the little clues that maybe other people can miss. And it's the two of them together that really create this unstoppable unit that's going to track down the bad guy. And it leaves on a kind of typical action set piece at the end of it, which is not a detraction of the film. It just kind of wraps things up in a formulaic fashion, something I kind of was expecting to happen, and it does, and it was fine, and I enjoyed it.
Может, вам не держаться? А?
In the Moscow Slums, or Khitrovka, the Sign of Four, was really kind of fun. If you're a Sherlock Holmes fan, you're going to find something that's really enjoyable here. I loved the performances, I loved the characters, I loved some of the situations. I found it to be a little bit overlong in certain moments, which was fine, as it was trying to set up the characters, I suppose, a little bit. We do get a wonderful performance from Anfisa Chernik. If I'm butchering that name, I can only apologise, who plays this kind of female lead here, who unfortunately steps out of the movie for a large portion, and she's kind of like a shining light in it that's driving it forward, which is a shame. But for the most part, I really enjoyed this one. I was engaged with the mystery until it disappeared, and I liked the two main characters. I'd love to know what you thought of In the Moscow Slums. So let me know in the comment box below whether you loved it, hated it, fell somewhere in the middle. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com. All ways in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.